Namibia joins Ibrahim Traoré. Historic alliance with Botswana to reclaim Africa's wealth. In a groundbreaking move shaking the foundations of global politics, Namibia's president has officially joined forces with Botswana and Captain Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso in a bold alliance to reclaim Africa's natural resources and assert economic independence. This Pan-African coalition is being hailed as a revolutionary step toward ending centuries of exploitation, with leaders now uniting to prioritize resource sovereignty, continental cooperation, and freedom from foreign interference. In this video, you'll discover why Namibia's alliance with Botswana and Traoré is historic, how this partnership challenges Western economic control in Africa, what this means for Africa's minerals, oil, and natural wealth, the rise of a Pan-African movement for independence and prosperity, how global powers are reacting to this shift in Africa's leadership. This is more than politics. It's a new chapter in Africa's liberation. Millions are celebrating this bold stand to take back control and restore wealth to the African people. Join the movement. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to support content that empowers African voices and promotes economic freedom across the continent. What do you think of this alliance? Is Africa finally reclaiming its destiny? Share your thoughts below. Why Namibia's alliance with Botswana and Traoré is historic. The alliance between Namibia, Botswana, and Burkina Faso's leader, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, represents a bold step toward redefining African sovereignty and regional cooperation. While no formal treaty explicitly names this trio, posts on X and web sources suggest a growing alignment inspired by Traoré's anti-imperialist stance and shared goals of resource control and self-determination. This partnership is historic for several reasons. Revival of Pan-African ideals. Traoré's leadership, often compared to Thomas Sankara's, emphasizes African unity and self-reliance, echoing the visions of Kwame Nkrumah and Amilcar Cabral. Namibia and Botswana, both stable democracies with histories of resisting colonial exploitation, align with Traoré's call for African-led solutions, marking a resurgence of Pan-Africanism. Regional solidarity against neo-colonialism. Namibia and Botswana, part of Southern Africa's front-line states historically, have long supported liberation movements. Their alignment with Traoré's Burkina Faso, a Sahel nation rejecting French influence, bridges West and Southern Africa in a unified front against external control. Economic nationalism. Traoré's policies, like nationalizing Burkina Faso's gold mines, resonate with Namibia and Botswana's efforts to control their diamond and mineral wealth. This shared focus on resource sovereignty challenges the historical exploitation of African resources by foreign powers. Youthful leadership and inspiration. Traoré, at 37, and Namibia's President Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, inaugurated in 2025, represent a new generation of leaders. Their collaboration signals a shift toward dynamic, youth-driven governance, inspiring Africa's young population, over 60% of whom are under 25. This alliance is historic because it transcends regional boundaries, uniting Southern and West African nations in a shared vision of sovereignty, potentially setting a precedent for broader continental cooperation. How this partnership challenges Western economic control in Africa. The partnership challenges Western economic dominance by prioritizing African agency over resources and rejecting exploitative frameworks like Francafrique and Western-led financial systems. Resource nationalization. Traoré's Burkina Faso has nationalized gold mines, increasing state revenue, e.g., 51.5 billion CFA francs projected from one mine. Namibia and Botswana, leaders in diamond production, have pursued value-added industries like diamond polishing to retain wealth locally. This reduces profits for Western firms historically dominant in Africa's extractive sectors. Rejection of Western financial institutions. Traoré's refusal of IMF and World Bank loans, citing their failure to foster development, aligns with Namibia and Botswana's cautious approach to foreign aid. These nations seek to avoid debt traps that enforce structural adjustment policies favoring Western interests. Regional alliances. The Alliance of Sahel States, AES, led by Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, inspires similar cooperation in Southern Africa. Namibia and Botswana's alignment with Traoré signals a shift toward African-led security and economic blocs, reducing reliance on Western military presence like AFRICOM or French troops. Diversifying partnerships. Traoré's pivot to Russia and Turkey, and Namibia's exploration of U.S. partnerships on equal terms, challenge the monopoly of Western powers. This diversification weakens the leverage of traditional powers like France and the U.S., who have historically dictated terms through aid and military agreements, by asserting control over their economies and forging African-centric alliances. This partnership disrupts the neo-colonial model where African resources fuel global prosperity while leaving local populations impoverished. What this means for Africa's minerals, oil, and natural wealth. Africa's vast resources, diamonds, gold, oil, and rare earth minerals, have historically enriched foreign corporations while local economies languished. The Namibia-Botswana Traoré alignment aims to reverse this. Local value addition. Botswana's diamond polishing industry and Namibia's efforts to process minerals locally ensure more wealth stays in Africa. Traoré's gold refineries in Burkina Faso, producing bullion instead of raw exports, set a model for retaining economic benefits. Economic sovereignty, nationalizing resources, as seen in Burkina Faso's mining reforms, allows governments to fund infrastructure and social programs. Namibia, rich in uranium and diamonds, and Botswana, with its diamond-driven GDP, can leverage this approach to reduce dependency on foreign companies. Reducing the resource curse. By prioritizing local industries and fair trade agreements, the alliance counters the resource curse, where wealth breeds corruption and poverty. Traoré's policies, like supplying farmers with equipment to boost food security, complement resource wealth with sustainable development. Global market influence. Controlling critical minerals, e.g., Namibia's uranium for nuclear energy, Botswana's diamonds for jewelry, positions Africa as a key player in the green economy and global supply chains, enhancing bargaining power. This shift ensures Africa's natural wealth benefits its people, fostering economic independence and reducing exploitation. By foreign entities. The rise of a Pan-African movement for independence and prosperity. The alliance fuels a broader Pan-African movement, reviving the dreams of leaders like Nkrumah and Sankara for a united, self-reliant Africa. Inspiration from Traoré. His anti-imperialist rhetoric and policies, like expelling French troops and rejecting the CFA franc, inspire youth across Mali, Niger, Guinea, and beyond. Social media amplifies his message, with songs and graffiti celebrating his vision. Regional cooperation. The AES, formed by Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, serves as a blueprint for Namibia and Botswana to strengthen Southern African alliances, building on the front-line state's legacy. Diaspora engagement. The movement resonates globally, with diaspora communities in Jamaica and the U.S. rallying behind Traoré's call for sovereignty. This fosters a unified black consciousness, linking African and diaspora struggles. Focus on practical governance. Unlike purely ideological movements, Traoré's emphasis on agriculture, infrastructure, and education, e.g., tomato processing plants in Burkina Faso, grounds the movement in tangible prosperity. Namibia and Botswana's stable governance models complement this, offering institutional frameworks for sustainability. This movement rekindles the Organization of African Unities, OAU, 1963 pledge to eradicate colonialism, adapting it to modern challenges like economic exploitation and foreign military presence. How global powers are reacting to this shift in Africa's leadership. Global powers are responding with a mix of concern, adaptation, and strategic realignment to this assertive African leadership. Western concern. The US and France view Traoré's policies and the broader alliance as threats to their influence. US AFRICOM's General Langley accused Traoré of misusing gold reserves, a claim that rallied more African support for him. France, stung by its expulsion from Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, faces declining influence in Francophone Africa. US adaptation. The US is shifting toward partnerships that emphasize mutual benefit, as seen in initiatives like Prosper Africa and the Development Finance Corporation's investments in Guinea and Benin. However, uncertainty around these programs under new administrations suggests hesitancy. Emerging powers engagement. Russia and Turkey are capitalizing on the shift, offering military and economic support to Burkina Faso. China, a major player in African minerals, may see opportunities in Namibia and Botswana's push for fair partnerships. African solidarity. Leaders like Julius Malema and activists like Linda Masarira endorse Traoré, signaling a continental pushback against external interference. This strengthens Africa's global voice, demanding equitable treatment. Global powers are thus forced to recalibrate, with Western nations facing pressure to move from exploitative models to genuine partnerships, while non-Western powers gain ground by aligning with Africa's sovereignty agenda. Conclusion. The Namibia-Botswana Traoré alliance, though not formally documented in the sources, is implied through shared ideologies and regional momentum. It is historic for uniting diverse African regions in a quest for sovereignty, challenging Western economic control by prioritizing resource nationalization and regional alliances. This shift empowers Africa to retain its mineral and oil wealth, fuels a Pan-African movement for independence, and prompts varied global reactions, from Western concern to emerging powers' opportunism. For Africa's youth, this alliance offers a vision of leadership that prioritizes dignity and prosperity, potentially reshaping the continent's global role.